into week 5 of Kleschka Picks. Let's get started with this Thursday game. My Seahawks are playing in the Thursday game against the Los Angeles Rams. Last week, the Seahawks, they beat the Arizona Cardinals, another W right there. And the Rams, they lost to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers scored 55 points. What? Over the Rams? I did not see that coming. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. That was so unexpected, and they pulled it off in Los Angeles. Unbelievable. The Buccaneers, out of all teams, after they had started so cold, and then they have this out of nowhere? What? All right, well, I give you props, Buccaneers, but right now we're talking about the Rams and Seahawks. Seahawks, we've had a couple games where maybe, I can't say a couple games we should have won because we only lost one, and that was to the Saints after they lost Drew Brees. But the Saints have stepped up after that loss of Drew Brees, and their defense has been providing them with good points because they've been scoring, and their special teams, and Teddy Bridgewater hasn't exactly lit the world on fire, but he's getting the job done. However, I think the Seahawks, the way Russell Wilson commands this team, the way he's a general to the offense, I think that we are the better team, and I think we will beat the Los Angeles Rams 23-20. Eagles and Jets. Jets were on a bye week last week, and the Eagles, they gave me flashbacks because they got an interception on like the 2-yard line that helped them beat the Packers. Aaron Rodgers went for a pass and he threw it to his receiver and it bounced backwards behind the receiver and picked off. Game-sealing interception. It was crazy. I couldn't believe that happened. The Packers have not looked 100% this season. They haven't looked like the Packers of old with Aaron Rodgers in his younger days. But we're not talking about the Packers. We're talking about the Eagles and the Jets right now. The Jets, it's tough for them right now because they got quarterback problems. Sam Darnold is dealing with, pneumonia. He's dealing with pneumonia right now. And the Eagles, Carson Wentz is just so streaky to start the season. He's hot and then he's cold. He's hot, then he's cold. But I don't think he can lose to the Jets even if he's cold, because even when he's cold, he's still doing okay. I think the Eagles are a way more talented team than the Jets, and I think they're going to win 24-13. Panthers and Jaguars. The Panthers won again with Kyle Allen. Looks like they do not need Cam Newton. They're doing perfectly fine without him. They beat the Texans. And then you have the Jaguars, where Minshew Mania is taking over. Nick Foles, the GOAT who took down Tom Brady, apparently they don't need him that bad. Minshew Mania has been doing just fine taking over for Nick Foles during this injury, and I'm very shocked. It is very, very exciting to always see a young quarterback come into the NFL and just, do good, not just play bad. Like, I'd say Gardner Minshew already doing better than Kyler Murray, for sure. Kyler Murray was the #1 overall pick, and he was highly regarded to just own and be like a great, amazing quarterback, which we haven't really seen yet. Like, we haven't seen elite status from Kyler Murray. We've seen good flashes for sure, but I think Gardner Minshew is definitely doing better right now. And I think the Jaguars are going to beat the Panthers 20-17. Vikings and Giants. Giants won again with Daniel Jones as their quarterback. First 2 starts, first 2 wins for Daniel Jones in his career. He's doing just fine. He's taking over for Eli Manning. That reign is looking like it's going to be over for sure in New York. Daniel Jones is doing great. He loves throwing to Sterling Shepard. Wayne Gallman did very well in the absence of Saquon Barkley. So imagine when Barkley gets back. I wonder what him and Daniel Jones in a full entire NFL game will look like. I'm sure it'll be tons of fun. And they have the Vikings, who faced the Bears defense last week, and they lost. The Bears defense continues to stay hot. However, I think the Vikings have a more balanced team. They got a good running back. Kirk Cousins is a solid quarterback. 2 good receivers in Diggs and Thielen. I think they just got more firepower than the Giants, even though Daniel Jones is starting off really high. I think the Vikings will win this game 27-20. Falcons and Texans. Another stinker for the Falcons last week. They did not score a lot of points, and they just are not looking good. Matt Ryan is not being the great Matt Ryan he was during the Super Bowl 52 year. I don't know what's going on. They definitely got the tools. They got Julio Jones, Devonta Freeman. Just nothing is clicking. It's not coming together for the Falcons so far to start the season. And the Texans, they lost to the Panthers, led by Kyle Allen, which shocked me, gotta say. But I think the Texans definitely have more weapons, and they actually make use of these weapons, because DeAndre Hopkins is on the same level as Julio Jones. They are elite wide receivers. but I think the Falcons just aren't clicking right now. And if your team, if that, what's it called? If they're not meshing and they're not getting together and like figuring out the chemistry, that's the word I'm trying to think of. If the chemistry between all the players just isn't connecting, then how do you expect to win? If Matt Ryan and Julio have that chemistry, I don't know what's going on in Atlanta, but right now they just cannot get their game together. So right now I think the Texans with Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, and everyone else on that team, J.J. Watt on defense, and they got solid defenders in the secondary. I just think the Texans are the better team and will beat the Falcons 30-17. Buccaneers and Saints. Like I said, Buccaneers, they beat the Rams with 55 points last week. We talked about that enough, but it is just an amazing, amazing feat for them. Definitely a confidence boost for Tampa Bay, but New Orleans has also got a great confidence boost right now. Since Drew Brees went down, they're 2-0. They beat the Cowboys last week. Their defense has been great for them since Drew Brees went down. Teddy Bridgewater hasn't really had to be like an amazing 5-star quarterback because the defense is helping him out. So as long as he can do the simple things for a quarterback, then he can get the job done and the whole team can get the job done. The Saints got Alvin Kamara, they got Michael Thomas. Without Drew Brees, who's obviously an elite quarterback, they still have tremendous weapons on this offense. And they got Marshawn Lattimore and the whole entire defense performing very well right now. So I think the Saints will beat the Buccaneers 23-13. Bills and Titans. Bills almost beat the Patriots last week. They had a chance, and you saw Josh Allen get injured towards the end of the game. Titans, they beat the Falcons last week. The Bills were so close to staying undefeated, but they just cannot do it. The Patriots are looking so dominant again. Oh my god, they're just going to add another entire mall to their stadium. If you guys watched my vlog where we went to Gillette Stadium, you know what I'm talking about. That place is insane. Anyways, the Bills. I think they got a great defense this year, and it's definitely helping them win ball games. Can they still win without Josh Allen? I don't know. I'm not sure if he's playing this week or not. I haven't heard any news on him as I am filming this. But I think the Bills are the better team, so I think the Bills are going to beat the Titans 20-10. Cardinals and Bengals. Bengals played on Monday Night Football, and they lost bad. The Steelers, without Ben Roethlisberger, still performed like the Steelers if they did have Ben Roethlisberger at quarterback. And Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, they lost to my Seahawks. That was a pretty easy victory for us. We did very well against the Cardinals. And I think the Cardinals are the better team here, even though Kyler Murray has not reached, I'm sure, his peak status. I definitely think he has room for improvement and he can get better, which is scary. The Bengals are just such a bad team this year that I don't see them winning. I think the Cardinals win 27-13. Patriots and Redskins. Redskins lost to the Giants last week, and we saw Dwayne Haskins for the first time in an NFL game. The Patriots, even though they did not light the world on fire against the Bills, they still got the victory. Tom Brady did definitely not play like Tom Brady. I learned that because that made me lose in fantasy football. Thanks, Tom Brady. It gives me another reason to be angry at you. Anyways, the Redskins. For quarterbacks that face the Redskins this year, they are basically set to have a huge game. That means the wide receivers, the passing attack should do very well against the Redskins. Every team has this season so far. So the Redskins are very vulnerable when it comes to the passing attack. And if you have a quarterback like Tom Brady, who I am playing again in fantasy, if you let me down against the Redskins, ooh, I'm going to be angry. But he should be able to own them 100%. The Redskins are not off to a good start. Jay Gruden's job is looking like it's on the line right now. He's on the hot seat. Patriots are just so dominant offensively and defensively this year, which makes it even scarier because are they going to be in the Super Bowl again? Anyways, I think they'll have no problem beating the Redskins. I think the Patriots will beat the Redskins 34-10. Ravens and Steelers. Steelers won on Monday Night Football against the Bengals. That one was pretty easy. The Ravens lost to the Browns. The Ravens look so dominant to start this year, and I don't know what happened. I thought for sure the Ravens were going to beat the Browns with Lamar Jackson off to this hot start. Mark Ingram looks good with the Baltimore Ravens offense. I totally thought they were going to have no problem, but the Browns stepped up. Nick Chubb, huge game for the Browns. However, I don't see this happening again to the Ravens with the way Lamar's performing. And Mason Rudolph has done pretty solid in Ben Roethlisberger's absence, but I think the Ravens are a better overall team, and I think the Ravens will win 27-17. Bears and Raiders. Raiders got a win last week. That shocked me. I totally thought they were going to lose to the Colts with how good Jacoby Brissett has led this team so far. But Derek Carr was like, man, I am not losing this one, and he won the game. Very impressed by the Raiders there. And the Bears, their defense, like I said, has been solid the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago was very good, very good. That helped me win a fantasy football game, the Bears defense that week. So thank you, Bears defense. And then last week they performed just as well. Their defense was solid once again and basically helped them get the victory. Mitch Trubisky got hurt in this game, so I don't know how it's going to be without Mitch Trubisky. He wasn't exactly the best quarterback to begin with, but hey, he's their QB1. He's out there getting the job done. He earned his spot, but now he's hurt. I'm not sure if he's going to start or not either. I haven't heard any news on him, but the defense alone is probably going to affect this game. I think the Bears defense against the Raiders is going to be huge because I think they're going to own him. And I think this might be Khalil Mack's first game against the Raiders since he got traded, so I'm sure that dude is hungry for some revenge. I think the Bears are going to beat the Raiders 20-17. Broncos and Chargers. Broncos lost to Minshew Mania and the Jaguars. Their defense has not looked good for them this season. It has been lackluster, especially when you have a guy like Von Miller. Why? Like how? I think the Broncos are last in sacks, if I'm correct, and interceptions. So yeah, the Broncos got to step up their defense if they're going to win football games. A Joe Flacco-led offense can definitely not lead you to victory. And then the Chargers played the Dolphins. That was a walk in the park. I think this one is also going to be a walk in the park for the Chargers. I think they beat the Broncos 30-13. Packers and Cowboys. Cowboys lost to the Saints last week. They were off to a very impressive start for this 2019 season. They just looked good in every game. Dak was performing at an elite level. Zeke hasn't really been the Zeke we all know and the one that deserved the contract, especially against the Saints. I felt like he could have been the key factor in beating the Saints, but he just did not have it. And every time I hear these two teams play each other, the Packers and Cowboys, all I can think of is the game with Dez Bryant's catch, not catch. Yeah, that game was insane. It was a playoff game. When these two teams play, that's the first thing that comes into my head. Anyways, the Packers, what did they do? Come on, Austin, think. They use your big brain. What happened with Aaron Rodgers, he threw that pick on the goal line against the Eagles. Like I said, it gave me flashbacks. I think the Cowboys are the better team. I think Dak just had like a 1 week fluke. I don't think this is going to last all season. He's not going to lose to... I think he can perform against these higher level teams, these teams with elite quarterbacks who have history and have won championships. I think Dak's getting to that point in his career where he can look very good. This, I would say, is his prime. So you got him, you got Ezekiel Elliott, and how they're performing this season. I think the Cowboys beat the Packers 27-24. Chiefs and Colts, another playoff matchup that I remember from a few years back. The Colts, they lost to the Raiders, and the Chiefs almost lost to the Lions. That would have been insane. It would have definitely shocked me to my core. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. I think the Chiefs will have no problem meeting the Colts. I don't know what happened last week with the Lions to where the point they almost lost, but I don't think that happens again. Patrick Mahomes is such a star that I cannot see him having two performances where he does that to a team that he should easily beat. I think the Chiefs will beat the Colts 31-20. Browns and 49ers. The 49ers were on a bye week last week, and the Browns, they got the victory over the Baltimore Ravens. Nick Chubb had a huge game for the Browns. And you got to remember, Nick Chubb, he's a solid running back, but the more we go into the season, the Browns get Kareem Hunt. What? Can you imagine what they can do with that duo running back combo, like Hunt and Nick Chubb? That could be very, very scary. And then you have Landry and Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield. They're supplying you with the weapons, dude. You just gotta fire the ammunition. That's all you gotta do. Seriously, they have the weapons built around you. You just got to lead the team. You're the quarterback. That's your job, okay? And the 49ers, they had their bye week last week, but they are a solid team. Jimmy Garoppolo, when he performs well, he does very good. And, you know, sometimes he has his games where he's exactly not on point and he doesn't perform well at all. So it's either or with Jimmy Garoppolo. You never know who you're going to get. There's no really middle ground. I feel like he's either lighting the world on fire or he's buried 6 feet in a hole, like waving up at everybody like, hi. But he's got one of the best tight ends in football on his team, George Kittle. However, I don't think the Browns are going to win this game. Thought I was going to say the 49ers, didn't you? I don't know. I don't think they'll perform like that every week. Nick Chubb, Baker Mayfield, because we've seen it to start the season. Unless this is where it starts, and now they're going to start performing like this every week, I don't imagine it happening. Baker Mayfield doesn't seem like he knows how to use all these weapons yet. It just seems like he has tons of pressure on him. Everyone's expecting him to perform. But I think the 49ers look solid right now, and I think they are going to beat the Browns 24-16. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for watching Kleschka Picks. If you made it to the end of this video, then tell me what you thought about the Buccaneers beating the Rams last week. Blew my mind, honestly. Alright, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.